Action figures are great!
Welcome to the newest edition of TNInews with your host, JC. Hey everybody, JC here, and welcome to a special Labor Day weekend Monday live stream. And we've got a couple of things to talk about. We're kicking off September as well, which I do expect September will be a pretty busy month for action figure news. But let's just do a quick roll call before we start getting into today's news. Let's see who is in the house this holiday weekend. We've got Eric Ellman in the house. What is up? Chris is in the house. Good to see you, my friend. 777 is in the house. Action figures are most definitely great. Gray Fox is in the house. What is up? Jeremy is in the house. Happy Labor Day to you. Judge Dreads, good afternoon to you, sir. Catalina Wine Mixer, there's a new one. What's up? Jim Ruby is in the house. What's up? Mr. Allmine, good to see you. You're working too hard on Labor Day. Yeah, I mean, I won't say, like, today is fairly quiet for news because most toy companies are off today, so not doing a lot of work. But I was like, yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I debate is like, you know what, do I just want to, like, say I'm not doing a live stream today because it's a holiday? But then I was like, nah, let's go on and do it. So, yeah, I'm here. I'm not going to go as far as saying I'm working hard, but I'm definitely here. Leopold is in the house. What is up with you? I want to know about the new Burger King fig in the thumbnail. I'd be like, yeah, we'll talk about that new Masterverse King Randor figure. Looks like as what that one is. Northern Nomad is in the house. What is up? Rarely get to catch the live stream. Yeah, that's the other thing I'm always curious about. It's like, will more people tune in because it's a holiday and maybe they're not at work? Or do most people tune in when they're like at work or what have you on their phones or whatever? And so now they're off doing their own thing on the holiday and not going to tune in. But glad you're here, Gray Fox. Good to see you. Judge Dreads is in the house watching cartoons and cooking a gumbo today. Nice. Paul Morales, what's up? Austin's in the house. Good to see you. Actually had off all day, says Rashid. Nice. Hopefully you guys are relaxing. Gray, I feel like with the different time differences, you probably get more viewers from across the sea. That's possible. I don't know. I mean, honestly, I picked this time 3:00 in the afternoon. Like I used to do them in the evenings, but I don't know. I prefer the afternoon. That's really more for my preference than perhaps prime viewership time. But I figure, for those who can't catch it during the day, they can catch it on the rerun. All right, so like I said, even though it's holiday weekend, do have a few news things to go over with you guys today. So let's just jump into it. So let's start off with Marvel Legends. So I won't swear to it, but I do feel like we're going to see this go up for pre-order this week, probably on Thursday, the Inhumans 2-pack. So Hasbro's Dan Young posted this package image of the 2-pack yesterday, said it was definitely coming in September. So that 100% we know. But he didn't say specifically this week. But again, we saw this one at San Diego Comic-Con. So here are a few images from Comic-Con, just for those who may have missed it or just need a refresher. The Lockjaw has alternate legs, so you can have them in a seated position or in a standing position. You also get the alternate faceplate for Lockjaw, which I like Crystal, but for me, this set's more about the Lockjaw figure than the Crystal figure. Lockjaw is definitely one I've been wanting for the Marvel Legend line for some time, so that to me is the primary reason why I will be picking this one up. Now again, Dan Young did not, at Comic-Con when they announced this one, they did not give a date This was like the first one they showed off during their panel at Comic-Con, where they did not actually give a date. And then yesterday, Dan Young just said September, so I can't guarantee that it is going up for pre-order this week, but we've been getting pre-orders every week for some time now from Marvel Legends. And one of the reasons why I think it is, this is the Entertainment Earth Drop Zone page where they list pre-orders. Usually they just give us little clues. But you can see here on Thursday, September 5th, which is this coming Thursday, this clue, this one is Out of This World, which, Inhumans, Out of This World. That's what I'm kind of going with there. So that's why I'm leaning towards, the fact that Dan Young is starting to tease it with the package image, and we've got this clue for a pre-order on Thursday. That's why I think this will be this week's Marvel Legend pre-order. It maybe not, again, not 100%, but that is my best guess in regards to that. Now, of course, the following week is going to be Hasbro PulseCon, September 13th. So we can see we are definitely getting pre-orders for Star Wars, Transformers, Marvel Legends, G.I. Joe on that Friday. So next Friday, not this coming Friday, but the following Friday, the 13th, is going to be a busy day with PulseCon, a full day of PulseCon reveals, and then pre-orders going up later in the day. Now, note the times with these pre-orders: 2 p.m. Pacific time. So it'll be later in the day than usual, again, after PulseCon. So 5 p.m. Eastern time is when these pre-orders will be going up on the 13th. But again, 13th is definitely going to be a busy day with news and reveals. I probably won't get a news video up on Friday, maybe, but if I do, it'll be late in the day because I'll be spending the day covering Hasbro PulseCon. So we'll have to play as far as when I'll get it. If I don't get a video up on Friday, I will definitely do a special Saturday video going over everything that was revealed. Maybe I'll do a special live stream that Friday. Just come on after PulseCon and just talk about everything that gets revealed that day. But again, 13th definitely pre-orders, and then for that Marvel Legend 2-pack, I am thinking a decent chance that will go up this week on Thursday. Let's see. 3KP says at work it's dead today. Yeah, I used to work at a credit union, a Navy Federal credit union, a long time ago. I was a loan officer, but because they serviced the military, it was like a phone center that I worked in, so people would call in, and it was a 24-hour thing. So I would often work on weekends and holidays and night shift and stuff, but usually, unless it was like a pay period, holidays would be dead. Mr. Alma, I just got an email from Uncle Todd saying there's only 1 hour left for his Labor Day flash sale. Good old Todd. I think I got an email for that as well. I didn't actually look at the flash sale, but Dreads, I'm waiting for 3 figures in the mail. They're taking way too long. Mr. Allmine definitely wants Lockjaw. Yeah, that too. And it was nice looking. I mean, Hasbro did a good job with it. I like the alternate legs. Now, I am wondering what the price is going to be on that set. It's probably going to be over $50 because I'm guessing Lockjaw is going to be considered like a deluxe type figure. So that one is probably going to have a fairly hefty price tag. Yeah, I mean, under $100, I would guess, but definitely over 50. Gray Fox, speaking of Marvel Legends, I got my 85th anniversary Venom 2 days ago. Nice. And those are actually, for those who still might need those, both that Venom from the Walmart, those went up during the Walmart Collector Con. So that Professor X and that Venom, they're actually listed, or at least last time I checked earlier today, they are listed as in stock and available for purchase. So if you didn't pre-order them back when they originally went up, or you've changed your mind and you want to get them, they are in stock now, or again, last time I checked, on Walmart's website. Uh, K-Max in the house. What's up? What's up, JC? Like when you do your live, brother. Lots of good stuff. What are you picking up? So I just got my X-Men Sentinels. I don't know if you can see them back there from Hasbro Pulse. Thanks to Rich for grabbing those for me because they went up during Comic-Con and I was busy and I wasn't able to order them myself. So he grabbed them for me and then forwarded them on to me when they arrived. So I got those. You can see up there on my X-Men arcade video display, which are nice. They fit in nicely there along with all my other Sentinels. I've got a pile of loot building up at Big Bad Toy Store. I haven't had it sent yet, but I've got those Batman Forever figures from McFarlane sitting in there right now. I've got the newest wave of Sesame Street reaction figures, which are for my wife, but I've got those coming with the Mr. Hooper and such. So I finally got my bombshell Insecticon bombshell for Transformers Legacy. So the third and final Insecticon, I was finally able to add to my collection. So I just got that the other day. Judge Judd says, hate when I purchase something on eBay and they're like, take their sweet time shipping. I haven't sold anything on eBay in years and years, but I would usually try and send stuff out pretty quick. I haven't bought anything on eBay in years and years either. Stefan says, JC, is this your full-time job? How do you generate income? Do a video? Okay, so technically YouTube is not my full-time job. That's really just, if you want to lump it in, I run websites, network of websites. You might have heard of them, Toy News International, Marvelous News, Jedi Insider, tformers.com. So it's a whole network of websites that's primarily catered to action figure news. So that's how I make my living. I started those websites 20 plus years ago. Ad revenue is how I generate revenue from those and make my living. It took years. Like I said, I've been doing these sites for 20 plus years. I started out where I worked a full-time job going back to Navy Federal Credit Union, and then I did this on the side. And this, going back 20 years, you got to remember this predates social media. This predates, eBay. Things like eBay were just honestly getting started and stuff. So, the internet was still, fairly relatively new back then. But I started these websites. I was kind of inspired by things like Toy Fair Magazine. Honestly, what I had started out to do was to sell stuff. And then I started doing the news on the side. And then the news kind of took over. I didn't have a lot of fun. I was fresh out of college. I didn't have a lot of money. I didn't want to borrow money. I've never borrowed money or anything like that. So it was all from scratch that I just kind of built up over the years. And, that's how I make my living. So, the YouTube thing, I don't make enough money off of YouTube itself to, that I could live on. At most I make from this channel maybe $300 a month. If I'm consistent and do like 3 videos a week. The most I've probably ever made on YouTube is $1,000. And that was like one time where I was doing like 5 videos a week around the holidays time. So if you're doing YouTube, you probably know that generally ad rates pay better towards the holidays because more people advertise around, Christmas and all that stuff. So generally your ad rates go up as you get closer to the holidays. So that's the most I've ever, in 1 month, I've ever made from YouTube. But I do this more just to talk with you guys and just for fun more than anything. I don't spend hours and hours of making YouTube videos. There are times where I've spent a lot of time trying to crack the whole algorithm thing. And finally I just, somewhat out of frustration, was just like, screw it. So, this channel doesn't, I would love this channel to get significant growth, but at the same time, just my experience with it, based on what the time and energy I put into it, I don't expect it to get huge amounts of growth on it or anything like that. So my thing is, I'm not really an entertainer. I'm not here to entertain. I'm here to give you as much information on action figures as I can. For those who like that, tune in like you guys. But am I ever going to be some huge YouTuber? No, I'm not. But as far, again, going back to your original question, my websites is how I make my living, which is kind of connected to this, but YouTube itself is not a huge moneymaker for me. A great, yes, ADC days. So for those not familiar, the original name of my website, which was American Dream Comics and Collectibles, which was really more for, again, when I first started doing this, my goal was like, since high school, I wanted to open my own comic book store, comic and like toy store. That was my original goal. Actually, when I went to college, I majored in marketing and management because I wanted to learn how to run a store and things like that. So, because again, what I had wanted to do was open up a comic book store, which back then, 20 plus years ago, comic book stores were a very thriving business. Around here where I live, there was like a ton of them. But as time has gone on, as a lot of different factors have come into play, the comic book store physical business isn't probably quite as thriving as it once was. Like, I would be very hesitant to try and open a comic book store today, just because I don't think I would have much chance of making it super successful. But back then, because again, I didn't have tons of money, um, and I was doing the news thing, which really caught on. The news thing was really supposed to just be this kind of side thing to kind of bring people to the site. And then hopefully while you were there, you would then start buying things. But the news thing really started to catch on. The other thing I learned was that it's hard to do news about products you specifically are trying to sell, because there is oftentimes some conflict of interest there. So I also kind of learned that over the years. But yeah, so that's long, or short answer long. That's basically how I make my living these days. And I if you'd asked me 20 years ago whether I would still be doing this, the answer would have been probably no. I amazed at how long I've been able to do this. And, right now things are pretty good, but I always wonder, like, how much longer will I be able to keep doing this? How much longer will this hobby last? Things like that. Those are always questions. And I think a lot of small business owners kind of have those questions, like, how long can they keep maintaining their business and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I'm very fortunate and lucky. It was kind of in the right place at the right time. I'd love to sit here and tell you I'm like a business genius, but it's more just, it was kind of luck, determination, that type of thing that played a large role. But anyway, let's see. Yeah, I don't. I would I'm amazed at people that have, like, that cover action figure news that have managed to get over several 100,000 viewers. But you talk about some of those really large YouTubers that like have million. I mean, I I would be scared of having that many followers, just because you say one wrong thing and you're going to set the internet off on. There's a part of me that kind of likes to be small and kind of under the radar. When it comes to this type of thing. So yeah, that I don't even know what I would do if I ever was that size. Kill it. Jay, did you back or pre-order any? I have not. They look really nice, but as I've said many, many times, I am personally not a huge independent action figure collector. As you can see behind me, most of the things I personally collect are things that I have a nostalgia collection to, that I grew up, in some way, either watching the cartoons or the original toys or things like that. So I do not collect like a lot of independent. I think it's awesome how independent lines have grown, and become much more popular and mainstream in this hobby. But for me personally, just whether it's Four Horsemen, Savage Crucibles, Monster Force, those are all fantastic looking lines. But I barely have the room for the stuff that I do collect, that it's very hard to start really trying to get into some new line like that. Rashid says he pre-ordered the Athena figure, a 770. You are a real one for. Thank you. And I try very hard to. I try to be as honest about things as I can. I try not to blow hot air up your guys' asses. I mean, I'm pretty straightforward. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad, but I am pretty much what I am. And I'm an old guy. I'm 50. I'm going to be 52 years old this later this month. My birthday will be later this month. I'll be turning 52 years old. I mean, I'm not a spring chicken. I'm not a young guy. I'm not hip. I'm not cool. So I am what I am, and I really don't have much interest in trying to pretend to be something different. Gray Fox. Yes, getting closer and closer to having to shell out for the Rattler. Yes, yes, we are entering the final week for that. Last time I checked, we were still, I think, around 3,000 to go before we got to the last stretch goal, maybe 2,500. Yeah, we're at 15,475 right now for backers, and we're just over a week to go. I see, as you often do with these campaigns, you start seeing people start to panic a little bit, like, oh my God, the Baroness isn't going to get unlocked, that sucks and stuff. But, and obviously, I can't say for sure, but it's very easy for these campaigns to get, 2,500 backers in just a couple of days. I mean, we saw it with the Dragonfly. In fact, I went back and looked just the other day on the Dragonfly. We didn't unlock the second stretch goal on the Dragonfly campaign until the final week of that campaign, and then we unlocked it like around this time, the equivalent of what this time would have been last year. We unlocked stretch goal number 2, so we've well up ahead of that. But then it took like 3 days to get the remaining 4,000 backers needed to unlock the fourth stretch goal, or maybe it was 3,000 backers to unlock the fourth stretch goal in that campaign, which was unlocked on the very last day of the Dragonfly campaign. So I think that's what we're going to see here. A day or two before the campaign ends is when I think we'll unlock the Baroness. Hasbro ended up actually extending the Dragonfly for a day. I don't know why they did that. They didn't need to, because they had already unlocked the stretch goal. But they, for some reason, last year extended the Dragonfly for a day. But again, I highly anticipate that we will get to the Baroness will end up being included in this campaign. And I I went back, last week, looking at my footage from Comic-Con, because you don't always, when you're actually there taking these pictures and stuff, it doesn't always stick in your head. But this video keeps, this happened last time I tried to play this video. It's buffering, so we'll see if it starts playing here. But I mean, this thing, this entire thing is just, it's so awesome looking, including the Baroness. I mean, I'm kind of like, I've got a Baroness, so if we didn't get it, I wouldn't be upset. But the more I look at this Baroness figure, the more I'm like really hoping that it does get unlocked. Like that head sculpt, I think, is better, the best Baroness head sculpt that they've given us in the classified line to date. So, and then the Rattler to me is just, it's so awesome looking. Again, room wise, I'm definitely going to have to try and hang this thing, because I don't think I've got any shelf space for it. But I definitely, this is something that I want to be able to add to my collection. But I feel, confident, and pretty confident that the Baroness will end up getting added along with Wild Weasel, which I think came out looking great. And, the Gunner as well, which I think they did a pretty good job with. Just the detail, like in the cockpit, the lights. I didn't get footage of it lit up, but I did get to see it lit up at Comic-Con, and it's just, so sweet. But yeah, that face sculpt to me just looks really good. So we'll have to see, to know for sure. Like I said, we'll probably go into the final day or two before we know. But as I said, if I was a betting man, I would bet that the Baroness will definitely get added to this campaign. Gray Fox, you are old. I'm 43. I'm the future. Yeah, I don't feel a day over 30, but Palpatine. Did I pre-order the Black Heart? Wait, I did not. I'm waiting for it to come out, and I know it started to hit overseas, so I will probably pick up at least some of the figures. I definitely want Black Heart. I just haven't decided if I want to get the whole wave to get it. I still have my Toy Biz Black Heart, which is actually pretty good, but yeah, um, like I don't unless I think it's something that's really going to be difficult to get my hands on. I generally don't pre-order things these days just because there's so much stuff and I lose track of it. I think we talked about this last week. Somebody was like, "I've got a spreadsheet," and I'm just not that organized. But so I only pre-order if I think it's something that might not actually have a chance to get when it actually comes out. But but no, I did not actually pre-order that wave. Hey Mac, are you backing this? I haven't backed it, and I'm a huge Dragonfly and Wild Bill fan. Still can't back them as it's just too. Yes, I am backing. I back the Dragon. I loved all these GI Joe vehicles. Um, so his tank, which obviously is the only one that we've gotten in hand so far, but the his tank is just so awesome. There's no regrets in that. The Stinger Jeep, I think, is great. Hasbro's really just been knocking it out of the park with the GI Joe vehicles. My biggest concern is just every time they do one, it's like, where am I going to find the space to put it? That's really the only thing that even remotely makes me hesitant to back or buy any of those GI Joe vehicles. But Hasbro has done a fantastic job, and yes, I definitely am getting the Rattler, and I can't wait for the Dragonfly to show up. Um, Unfortunately, it's probably not going to show up until the very end of the year, but I can't wait for that one. All right, let's see what else. All right, let's since somebody had asked about it earlier, let's jump over to Masters of the Universe. So this apparently showed up on Mattel's corporate website. So Daniel Luce, I think is how you say his last name, is the one that first discovered this figure, um, this image, I should say. So Mattel has not yet officially announced this one, but looks like a new Masterverse King Randor is coming, which looks pretty good overall. Uh, I like he's got the helmeted head for going into battle. He's got just a crown head or hairpiece, should say. So I'm seeing this more and more with companies. Instead of doing like a full-on head sculpt, they're just doing like either alternate face plates or alternate hair pieces type thing, which I have no problem with. I think it helps keep the cost down, or at least helps keep the cost from going up more. So, but King Randor, I don't know if these armor pieces are removable. I hope so. I hope this shoulder piece is removable. I think they are. I'm thinking those are just strapped on. Um, Looks like a soft goods cape, sword, um, little staff. So hopefully these shin guards also are removable. I'm thinking they probably are. So definitely kind of cool. But yes, King Randor, again, this has not yet been officially announced by Mattel. They just slipped it up on their corporate Mattel website. So I suspect we'll be getting more details on this in the near future, maybe later this month or October. but definitely looks like for you Masterverse fans. I'm guessing this is a new Eternia version of King Randor because this isn't how he looked in the cartoon or anything. So I'm guessing this is going to fall under the new Eternia subline of Masterverse. And overall, I'm kind of I like the little gray that they've given him on the beard. Given so he looks a little bit older. So I kind of like that. Well, I talked about this on Friday, but for you Origins fans, looks like this Demo Man is going to be going up for pre-order on the Mattel Creations website, September 25th, according to the Mattel Creations calendar. So we saw this at San Diego. They also, you may remember, they did that live stream earlier in the year where they first announced this figure. So that one is going up for purchase later this month. Also, jump into a little wrestling news. So, Target has started to list the second wave of those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle crossover figures. So, the Rey Mysterio, the Cody Rhodes, and the Seth Rollins ones. So, we've got the official images for these. Now, as far as I know of, they never made the first wave of these available online. They had listings, but they weren't actually available for purchase. So I don't know. The first wave has hit physical stores, but I don't know, if or when they're actually going to make these available for purchase on Target's website. So again, they're listed up there, but they're not yet available for purchase. Possibly we could see these become available sometime during the Geek Out event. So I could definitely see that happening. And as far as physical stores, my guess is these will start hitting physical stores in the fairly near future. The New Day team was actually wearing these the outfits, their turtle outfits on Raw a couple of times. So, I could see Rey Mysterio breaking out this outfit on TV. I don't know. I don't know about Seth Rollins. I guess maybe, but I doubt it. Same thing with Cody. I mean, I know Cody likes action figures, but I don't know if he'd actually break this outfit out and wear it on live television. But I could definitely see Rey Mysterio sporting this turtle outfit in real life. But again, for those who are collecting these turtle wrestling mashup figures, Wave 2 looks like is going to be coming soon. Speaking of, comic inspired outfits for wrestling, we've got this one of Becky Lynch that is up on Amazon last time I checked, actually being sold through Ringside Collectibles. This is their Amazon store, but so I'm assuming they probably have it on their actual website as well. But this is said to be inspired by, X-Men Siren, Becky Lynch sporting her Irish heritage with the comics. So I don't know. I mean, obviously it's yellow and green like Siren's outfit, but I don't, unless you told me this was supposed to be based on Siren, I don't know if I'd actually piece that together, but supposedly that is what this outfit is based on. So Becky Lynch. We had some new solicitations for wrestling figures. I'm not going to go over all these. And I think we've seen most of these at like Comic-Con. This wave, this is the Elite Collection Greatest Hits. This is actually available for pre-order at Big Bad Toy Store. So young Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns. A lot of Roman Reigns figures being solicited this month from Mattel. John Cena, another John Cena figure. John Cena is going to be making his return to WWE pretty soon here. The Miz, new Miz figure. King Sheamus. So I wasn't watching at this time, but I'm guessing he won King of the Ring and started sporting this outfit. And then I'm not Natalia, so she's not a current wrestler, and I don't really remember her, so I'm not familiar with her. Like, I only started watching wrestling again, starting with WrestleMania 40. It'd been years since I'd watched wrestling, so there are definitely wrestlers there, kind of wrestlers that I don't remember. This is let's see, this is WWE Elite Top Picks 2025. So Seth Rollins, again, another Roman Reigns, and Jey Uso. I keep waiting to see if Jey Uso is going to end up as part of the Bloodline, this Bloodline Civil War storyline going on. For basic figures, again, another Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, Rob Van Dam. I don't know what happened. I haven't seen. I know who Rob Van Dam is, but I haven't seen him in a long time, so I don't know if he's still actively wrestling or if he retired or what. Thea Hale, where there's a Chase figure. Andre Chase, not really familiar with either of those two wrestlers. Event Series 152, which is their basic figures, if they renamed them recently. Stone Cold Steve Austin, Seth Rollins, Batista, Liv Morgan, and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat that has a Chase figure. We've got Monday Night Raw War Elite Series 5, which is Walmart exclusive. Razor Ramon, Lita, 6, Ultimate Warrior, and the Build-A-Figure is Dusty Rhodes from Nitro, November 30th, 1998. And then WWE Evolution Elite 3-pack celebrating Randy Orton's first championship with Batista, Triple H, and Randy Orton. And then the Walmart 3-pack Generations a Samoan 3-pack with, again, Roman Reigns, Alpha, and Sika. So, like I said, a lot of Roman Reigns figures that are coming out. There's the Jey Uso. There's the 3-pack. Again, this is coming to Walmart. The Samoan 3-pack. Samoan Dynasty 3-pack. That's the wave with Rob Van Dam. Again, these are the basic figures. Some of these basic figures are better looking than others. Yeah, I don't know who this Thea Hale is. I'm not familiar with her. Or this guy, this Andre Chase guy. The Solo figure actually looks pretty good for a basic. Batista, bald Batista. The Liv figure doesn't look so great. At least doesn't look as good as Liv it does in real life. Ricky Dragon Steamboat looks pretty good for a basic figure. Again, there's a Chase version of him. Stone Cold. Seth frickin' Rollins. And then some 2-packs. Mean Gene Okerlund with Hulk Hogan. Not sure how popular Hulk Hogan is these days, but there you go. Randy Orton versus CM Punk. Actually, that does not look like CM Punk too much to me. That head sculpt. Of course, I'm assuming it's a younger CM Punk, but still. The Orton face looks pretty good there, but I don't know about that CM Punk. Rock and John Cena. Razor Ramon. That one looks pretty good. Lita. I don't know. Guess that's not too bad for a basic figure. That's the build a figure. All right, yeah, these aren't actually basic figure. Well, they're not part of the basic line. This is the Monday Night Wars line. So the Dusty Rhodes build a figure. This NWO shirt. Ultimate Warrior. This must be older Ultimate Warrior because I don't ever remember Ultimate Warrior going around in blue jeans. But Razor Ramon has a chase. So yeah, for you wrestling fans, there's your news for the week. I don't know how many of you guys watch wrestling or collect wrestling figures. Like I said, I just recently got back in. I don't really collect any wrestling figures, but I just recently got back into watching WWE. Jeremy says, haven't really been into the WWE figures for years. Virtual Dave, what's looking to be your favorite figure for the year so far? That's a tough one. A lot of good ones this year. It would either probably it would either be something from the Marvel Legend line or GI Joe Classified. To be honest, those are my two favorite. Those are the two lines I've been most actively collecting right now. Like for instance, this Ghost Rider, I think is awesome. But I don't think I'd make that my figure of the year, but definitely could be a top contender. So I don't know. It's hard to narrow it down to just one, but definitely I feel like it would end up either being something from Marvel Legends or GI Joe Classified. I think McFarlane's put out a couple of good ones this year, but the thing about McFarlane is a lot of them end up being like stupid Platinum Series figures and stuff, and it just becomes really difficult to track down. Storm Rising. I dropped out of wrestling many years ago. Glad I did. I tried watching it now and just couldn't get into it. That and I find The Rock super annoying. Well, The Rock, he came back briefly, but The Rock's really not what I would call an active wrestler these days. But I mean, I was the same way. I watched wrestling as a kid, and I've always been primarily WWE. For a little while, I watched WCW, but mostly I've always just been a WWE fan. So I watched it as a kid, the early days, Hulk Hogan, Junkyard Dog, Dragon Steamboat, those guys. And then I watched in high school. I had a couple of friends, and we would always get together for the pay-per-views and stuff. But then when I went to college, I kind of stopped wrestling for a while and then started to get back into it in like the early 2000s. The Attitude Era had already begun, but I started watching around that time. So like I kind of missed the whole WCW Monday Night War thing. By the time I started watching again, that was coming to an end. I was watching when like Vince McMahon bought WCW type thing, all that stuff. But then when after the Chris Benoit incident, I kind of stopped. I kind of lost my taste for wrestling. And then again, only here recently did I start watching. Kind of, to be honest, in part because Vince McMahon, who I give credit for, creating this industry, but at the same time, I feel like over the years has done some pretty shitty things. And so I kind of, once he left or was kicked out, whatever you want to call it, I started giving it a try again. And I won't, I definitely don't, not as hardcore. Well, I don't even know if I'd ever call myself hardcore, but I definitely not as much into wrestling as I probably was in previous times. But, I still have been watching, like I watched the pay-per-view this past weekend, which I actually thought was pretty good. Bash in Berlin pay-per-view. I don't know. It's kind of weird even calling them pay-per-views anymore, because now it's more like if you have Peacock, you can just watch it. But the premium event for this weekend, and it is weird that like we have these like pay-per-view events almost every 2 weeks now. But I watched that, and it was better than I thought. Like I thought the first, like the Cody Rhodes Kevin Owens match, I thought was pretty boring. I didn't think that was a great match. I didn't think it was a great storyline, to be honest. It felt like it was kind of rushed, like they kind of threw it together last minute. So I didn't think that was very good. The female tag team match, I'm glad of the outcome, but the match itself I didn't think was that great. The CM Punk Drew McIntyre strap match, that was pretty good. The Orton Gunther match I thought was fantastic. That was definitely a great match. I was hoping Orton was going to win, and if I'm spoiling this for you, I apologize. But I was hoping Orton would win. I didn't think he was going to, but I was kind of hoping he would win. But it was just a great match. And even the Judgment Day Civil War match thing was actually not too bad. So yeah, so there you go. And we got a new announcement team coming to Raw. I'm curious to see, like, Raw is going to be moving to Netflix at the beginning of the year, so I am curious to see how that's going to go. I would almost I wish like everything. I mean, from the company standpoint, it's probably better that these shows are on multiple type channels and stuff. But like, it'd be great if like everything moved to Netflix, so you didn't have the commercial. Like one of the things I hate about modern wrestling, like watching Raw on USA or even SmackDown on Fox, which of course is now going to be moving to USA. But like, I hate when it's like you're in the middle of a match and they go to a commercial, or the match, like they run out of time at the end of the match and it just kind of cuts off. So I'm hoping with Netflix, or like when the crowd starts chanting things, that they then have to bleep out, and it's like it just becomes an annoyance. So I'm hoping with Netflix that a lot of that stuff will go away. Storm Rising. Last great match I remember was the infamous one with Mankind and Undertaker cage match when Mankind got slammed. Yeah, I saw that match. That was a good match. But man, that guy, like a lot of those guys, like Mick Foley. I mean, those guys. I mean, you look at Mick Foley now, and he's like, I got to imagine that he just moving around. He's in pain, like, and he's like lost all his teeth and things like that. It's just like those guys gave up so much and of their bodies, which, I don't know. You can say it's a good thing, but in some ways, maybe not. I don't know. But Mick Foley was a great wrestler, no doubt. But I just feel like, he sacrificed his body so much for a lot of those matches. Storm Rising, pay to watch it? Nah, I have no problem finding streaming stuff. Well, I mean, the thing about like the wrestling, like I notice is like, they'll like as soon as they happen, the matches happen, they'll like put little clips up on their social media, like on Twitter. So like I don't, if you really just are interested in the outcomes themselves, you don't really have to pay or anything. They just go watch the clips on social media. Judge Dredd says he's more of a martial arts kind of guy. McFoley is a legend. I saw the awesome documentary about him. He sure did sacrifice his body for the entertainment. Yeah. All right, well, let's see. What else we have in the way of news for you guys today? So, gotten wrestling, we've gotten Masters of the Universe. So, I think we're down to McFarlane stuff. So I've got a few things. So, if you've been wanting this Platinum Edition version of Lucius Fox, this was offered with the Tumbler, but there's a Platinum single release. It is currently available on Walmart's website, though Walmart has this regional thing going, so you'll have to check and see if it actually lets you check out with it. But again, if you're wanting that Lucius Fox, the Platinum Edition version, the Adam West one is also up there on Walmart. That's sold out a lot of places. So, but we had a couple of new previews this weekend. So for those of you into Batman Reborn, Damian Wayne Robin figure is coming. This is going up for pre-order later this week on September 5th. So that one is coming. And this is part of the DC Page Punchers line, 7-inch figures. And then also Rebirth Deathstroke. So that one is coming as well. I meant to check, because usually there's more than 2 figures in a wave. Those are the only 2 they showed previews for. And I meant to go and check older listings to see if there were any other figures listed. So let me just take a quick look. Yeah, not seeing anything right off the bat, so looks like there will be a Frostbite version of the DC Rebirth Deathstroke released at some time. But I'm guessing there's going to be at least one other, maybe 2 other figures with these DC Page Punchers that go up on the 5th, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time. But trying to track it down. But those 2 are going up for pre-order this week. Talked about this on Friday, but those if you're collecting these prop replicas of the Batman cowls, the 1/3 scale, then these are going up for pre-order on the 3rd, which is tomorrow, 12 p.m. These will be available, pretty much everywhere. We saw the Batman Animated Series 1 go up on Friday as part of the Target Geek Out event. That one's a Target exclusive, but we've got the Michael Keaton Batman, the Adam West Batman, and the Nightfall Batman cowl coming. And then we have some new listings that have popped up. So, again, these have not been confirmed by McFarlane, but they have popped up with the overseas retailers. So, usually these end up being correct, but take them with a grain of salt until they are officially confirmed by McFarlane. Now, some of this stuff McFarlane's actually already announced, like the Beetlejuice movie Maniac figures. They announced those at Comic-Con. The UFC stuff they've announced. So that definitely is coming. More cowls, more Batman cowls for those of you who might be collecting those. So we've got one based on Batman Hush and a first appearance Batman cowl coming as well. some statue-like figures from DC Direct, Bane, Batman, and Swamp Thing, listed as vinyl figures. So I don't know if this is something new. It's Wave 1, so I don't know if this is something new or what, but they're listed as vinyl figures from DC Direct. But this one up here, this one is the most interesting of these new listings. Listed as Monsterverse 2-pack, Batman versus Kong. So they did a comic book, I think it was last year, of the Justice League versus Godzilla versus King Kong. So, I'm assuming that's what this is based on. What I don't know is, I have not read the comic, so I don't know if, like here in the cover, this Kong doesn't look like it's too big. Now that's a mech suit. Like, I think Batman creates a mech suit to go up against Godzilla and King Kong. So I don't see them doing a super giant King Kong figure. So either these are going to be smaller scale than a regular 7-inch figure. I'm thinking maybe, like their recent, now I've forgotten the name. Pacific Rim. They did those Pacific Rim figures here recently, which were smaller scale. So I'm thinking it could be something along the lines of that, with a King Kong and a little tiny Batman figure or something. I don't know. So this will be interesting to see, when we get more details on what this is going to be. It just says DC Justice League Monsterverse 2-pack, so it doesn't list it doesn't give us any kind of scale description or anything like that with the listing. So again, I would be a 7-inch Batman with an in-scale King Kong. I wouldn't hold my breath on that, but it'll be interesting to see what we end up getting with that. Now, one other interesting note: we've seen the listing for the Christopher Reeve 1978 Superman before, but we now have a little additional information that this will be part of the DC Collector Edition series, which generally means a little more in the way of accessories. Also, generally, these have Platinum Edition versions as well, which only thing I can think of for a Platinum variant of Superman, Christopher Reeve Superman, is that they did like an evil Superman from Superman 3, drunk Superman, whatever you want to call it, from Superman 3. That's the only thing I could think of for a Platinum Edition version of Christopher Reeve Superman. So we'll have to see if we get a Platinum version of this Superman figure and what it is. But again, and I suspect this will be solicited officially in the fairly near future. So either later this month or next month, I'm thinking. So, but again, the Christopher Reeve Superman figure looks like will be part of the collector edition subline, not just a regular DC multiverse figure. So that is your McFarlane news for the day. Judd says Batman versus Kong is crazy. What's up, X? Good to see you. Storm Rising says the cows are cool, but not for him. Judge Dredd says he's got some hard choices to make. Yeah, that's shelf space is always a big. Jeremy, do I think we'll see an 89 Joker figure from McFarlane? I know they know there's demand for that figure. They talked about it specifically at Comic-Con during the McFarlane panel. Todd didn't specifically say, but my impression was that red tape, which to me is more likely money, because we have seen other companies do Jack Nicholson Joker. So we know it's possible. Hot Toys did one. Beast Kingdom has done one. But I think, Jack Nicholson, it's not cheap to get Jack Nicholson's likeness. So it's possibility with a, $25 7-inch figure that the cost to do it would make it, that they couldn't make it profitable type thing. I don't know. So I definitely think it's possible, but I also think there's a good chance it wouldn't happen just because they don't want to pay the money for Jack Nicholson's likeness. It's too expensive. Um, and that definitely is the thing that I believe is holding them back from doing one. But I mean, it's no doubt if they do one, it will sell big time. It'll be an instant sellout if they ever do a Jack Nicholson Joker figure. That there's no doubt in my mind. But I just don't know. Those figures are basically set at a certain price, so it's not like they can go, okay, we're going to do Jack Nicholson Joker, but because the likeness rights are so expensive, we're going to raise the price on that one figure to $30 or something. They really can't do that, so they're kind of stuck in this certain price range on that figure. And if the price to get his likeness is so expensive that it makes it so even if they sold through everything they made, they still weren't making a profit. um that could be something keeping them from doing it. But I know they know that people want it. They've said that they are trying to make it, giving us the whole, we're looking into it, blah blah blah. So I certainly think it's a possibility, but whether they actually get it done or not, I guess only time will tell. Oh, I need to get Christopher Reeve Superman for my mom. She loves that movie. I I was having a discussion with somebody just earlier today. Christopher Reeve to me is still the best Superman ever for like a live action. That's not to say that there isn't some corny stuff in those old Superman movies. There definitely are, but as far as just portraying the character of Superman, I think Christopher Reeve by far was the best actor. I like Henry Cavill. I think he's a pretty solid Superman, but to me, Christopher Reeve will always be the one true Superman. They've got that documentary coming out, which I'm not going to go to the theater to watch it, but I will, when it gets released on home release, I will definitely watch that. What's up, Sean? Good to see you, my friend. Storm Rising. Henry Cavill is too busy. Yeah, that was a cool cameo. But no, even though I've seen rumors, Henry Cavill is now going to be Wolverine. I seriously doubt that. Um, but I think it's possible we will see Cavill pop up in the Marvel universe again, but not as Wolverine. Justin Mohan, do I think the entertainment industry is in a good place? I guess I would need to know what your definition of a good place is. And the entertainment industry in its own right is kind of a huge ocean, so you'd probably have to narrow it down. There are definitely aspects that I think are in plenty good place. There are aspects that probably aren't. Um, but overall, I don't know. It's hard to say. I think movie theaters continue for the most part, minus the occasional Deadpool, Wolverine movie and things like that. I think like the theater business is struggling quite a bit, as people have gotten more and more used to just staying home and watching movies and stuff. But and then that in turn, with the way movies are made and how like people are paid based on like box office takes and stuff, all of that is becoming more and more outdated. So I feel like as streaming becomes more and more common, there's definitely things that have to be worked out. But I think as long as there are decent movies being made, people will watch them. It's just whether they go to the theater to watch them or watch them at home or whatever. That's a different story. Sean Logan, he will always be Superman, just like Keaton will always be Batman. I mean, Keaton is still one of my favorite Batmans, but we've had other actors, especially in the movies. We've had a lot more actors playing Batman than we have um, Superman. I mean, we have right now, at least, we have Reeve and Cavill. And again, I think Cavill was a good Superman. I just think he got stuck with Man of Steel to me is probably the least Superman accurate version of the character, and I don't blame Cavill for that. It was just the script of the movie. Storm Rising. I hated Kristen Bale Batman, to be honest. I liked Batman. The first two Bale movies were good. The third one I didn't think was very good. Um, but definitely, honestly, Kevin Conroy to me, even though cartoon, will always be the ultimate Batman. It's hard to hear Batman, especially cartoons. It's hard to hear anyone else voice the character Batman. Um, some of the movie, some actors play a better Batman, some play a better Bruce Wayne, but it's hard to get like that balance of both. Jeremy says Robert Pattinson did a Batman. It was one of my favorite Batman films in years. I don't know. The Pattinson Batman I liked better than I thought I was going to like when I watched it. I didn't have high expectations for that one, so it did exceed my expectations. But I don't know if I can, like, I would be willing to watch another Batman movie with him in it. One of the things I don't like is I don't like how it's like this separate. Like, I don't like this idea that we're getting here with like all these different versions of Batman at the same time. Like, same thing with, like, I have no interest in seeing the second Joker movie. The first Joker movie to me was okay, but like I saw the trailer for the second Joker movie during Deadpool, and I was like, this movie, or maybe it was Alien Romulus, but I recently saw the new trailer for the second Joker movie, and I'm like, this really does not look interesting to me at all. So I definitely will not go to the theater to see Joker 2. I'll watch it when it comes out on HBO Max or something, but that that movie holds no interest for me. You know, if they wanted to make Pattinson their go-to Batman, that would make that character more interesting to me. But having this side Batman that's different from this new DC Universe Batman that I guess we're going to eventually see, that all to me, I don't really like that. And while the Flash movie was overall pretty bad, the scenes with Michael Keaton were to me great. Obviously Michael Keaton is getting pretty old, so obviously him continuing on as Batman, unless we were going to see like a Batman Beyond thing with an old man Bruce Wayne, I don't think Keaton has really got the ability to keep doing Batman. But I thought he did a fantastic job in the Flash movie, and that was really the only good thing about that movie. I like Ben Affleck, but like as Batman, like he was like the least interesting Batman to watch, I guess, choreography wise, fighting wise, gadget wise. So I don't know. But I thought Ben Affleck probably gave us the best Bruce Wayne of any live actor. Then you know, I think George Clooney was the best casting for Batman, but unfortunately was stuck in it. It's hard. George Clooney is a good actor, but being that that movie was the only time we saw him as Batman, it's really hard to. That movie was just so bad that nobody could save that movie. So I think he probably could have done a decent Batman, but again, he's old enough now that it wouldn't really be feasible. First to fail, Raphael. Yes, it should be. Only thing that really is an actual store exclusive for Turtles is the cartoon stuff. So any kind of comic, Last Ronin, anything like that should eventually be offered at other places. The guy who played Superman in one movie, you're talking about Brandon Roth? Yeah, he played the Atom in the CW series, the Arrowverse series. I thought he did a better job with that than as Superman. I would, I definitely would have liked to have seen a Ben Affleck Batman versus Deathstroke movie. I was disappointed that never happened. Nice, finally able to get Mirage Rat King. Because Kevin Spacey kind of turned out to be a dirtbag. But I also, the thing, like, this was like another, I liked Gene Hackman in those Superman movies, but I do much more prefer Lex Luthor when he's portrayed as like the businessman, the rich millionaire, billionaire businessman who does bad things, but you can never prove it because he's always it's not that he's super powerful or anything. It's just you can never prove in a court of law that he's done that's the type of super or Lex Luthor villain that I prefer over like what we saw in those original Superman movies. I like Gene Hackman, and I thought he did a decent job in like Superman 2 and stuff, but I was never a fan of that version of Lex Luthor. All right, well, we're over an hour, so I think we're going to call it a day. But thank everyone who tuned in on their day off, or even if they weren't off today and still tuned in, much appreciated. I should be back on Wednesday with another live stream news video, and then Friday with a regular video. Remember, next week is PulseCon on the 13th, so we'll get a lot of Hasbro news. It's probably going to be fairly quiet on the Hasbro front until PulseCon, though again, I am expecting that good chance that Lockjaw 2-pack will go up for pre-order this coming Thursday, which if so, I'm sure Dan Young will start teasing it probably tomorrow. But yeah, so things are going to start picking up with PulseCon, and then we'll be going soon after that. We'll be heading into New York Comic Con time. So, we kind of had a break last month, but now I expect things are going to start picking back up. So, but again, guys, much appreciated for you guys coming in here, listening to me ramble about things. Always appreciated. Stay safe out there. Have a great rest of your holiday weekend. And until next time, guys, I will catch you later. Thanks for watching today's video. Now, if you're new to the channel, please think about hitting that subscribe button. Also hit the bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. For all the latest action figure news, be sure to head over to ToyNewsEye.com, MarvelousNews.com, JediInsider.com, and TFormers.com. And remember, action figures are great,